Most guys never actually manage to push past 15% body fat, and it's not because they're not training hard, it's not because they're lazy, it's not because they lack discipline, it's because to get past that 15% barrier, the rules change. I myself have been through numerous cuts, I've coached over 100 people to lose a lot of fat, to get extremely lean and into incredible shape, so I understand the barriers and the problems that most men come across when they're trying to get really lean and push past that 15% mark. So why is 15% the wall? Now, to get down to 15% body fat, things are quite straightforward. Train semi-consistently, eat quite well, have a couple of snacks here and there, do a little bit of cardio, do a few steps, and the fat will drop off quite easily, as long as you continue to do that on a week-to-week basis. But below 15%, that stops working. Your body is holding on to much less fat, so there's much less fat to lose. Hunger increases, energy drops, progress slows, and if you want to push past that 15% barrier, you need to adapt or you're going to stay stuck. Mistake number one is trying to lose fat the same way. So what got you from 25% body fat to 15 will not get you past 15. And this is where most men go wrong. They have the same calories, the same cardio, the same training regime, the same level of flexibility, and they expect that to work for them to get really, really lean. But the thing is, for you to get really, really lean, there's a level of sacrifice that comes along with that. And with that sacrifice, you need a more accurate and precise plan, a cardio regimen, set calories, training program that's effective, a daily step goal, less flexibility. Getting to sub 15% body fat forces you to pay attention to those finer details. Those few snacks that you have during the week, those few biscuits that you grab out of the biscuit tin, the little dash of milk that you have in the coffee, those all add up, and those are things that are going to stop you from pushing past that 15% barrier. Mistake number two is no plan for real life. Weekends matter, social occasions matter, meals out matter, sleep matters, stress matters, and if all of those things are a little bit off, the fat is not going to move. And most plans don't account for those things. So one busy weekend turns into a busy week, and one busy week turns into 2 busy weeks, and before you know it, you're 10 steps backwards. The key to managing these occasions and ensuring that you are always moving forward is to plan, prepare, and do your best to always be 5 steps ahead. If you do leave things down to chance, tasks will be missed 100%. So if you're serious about this goal and you're serious about getting past 15% body fat, you need to plan and you need to prepare. My biggest hack here is for you to make use of your calendar. Every 30 minutes on your calendar, block that out. Steps, training, cardio, when you eat your food, when you wake up, when you go to bed, when you're at work. Doing that is another form of accountability, and it stops you from leaving things down to chance. Mistake number 3 is overdoing output. I've seen this time and time again. When fat loss slows, when progress stalls, most men panic. They increase cardio, they cut calories, they make extreme movements to try and see that scale weight drop, and that's going to work short term every single time, but then it'll backfire. Recovery will tank, your hunger will spike up, recovery will absolutely crash. And it's annoying because you don't actually lack discipline. You're really trying, but you're just pulling the wrong lever. Pull one lever at a time. So if you are going to make a change, steps, cardio, or your food, change one at a time. Review after a week and then make any further adjustments if you need to. Only pull a lever, only make a change if your sleep and stress are in check. If you've slept poorly for a few days or poorly for a week, or work's ramped up and you become extremely stressed, your body weight is going to fluctuate on a day-to-day basis. So do not make changes based off of that. If you realize that you are stressed and you haven't really slept that well, don't make any changes. Just weather the storm for a week and see how your body responds. If sleep and stress are in a good spot, feel free, make a change, but pull one lever. My biggest hack here is to make small changes. So with your calories, make 100 to 300 calorie adjustments. With your cardio, I personally do either 5 to 10 minutes, or maybe I'll add an extra session on. This way, it keeps energy, training, and recovery in a really good spot, but just gives you that little booster you need to actually start seeing some progress again. So what actually works below 15%? Now, getting to below 15% body fat, getting really lean, it's not about pushing to extremes, and it's not about diving headfirst into the trenches. One thing you need to pay attention to is managing hunger. So with your hunger and with your calories, you need to make gradual changes so that you can keep hunger at bay, so that you can keep cravings at bay. Meal timings are incredibly important. So one tip for meal timings is push your first meal back as far as you possibly can. What that's going to help you to do is consume the bulk of your calories later on in the day, which means that when you go to bed, you're not going to be hungry. It's much more manageable for people to be hungry in the morning rather than lying in bed, being hungry and knowing that they've got no calories left to eat. Another little thing with meal timing, so try and space your meals evenly throughout the day. So ideally 4 or 5 meals throughout the day with 30 to 50 grams of protein in each meal, which is going to help us to optimally spike muscle protein synthesis throughout the day, which is just going to keep our recovery in a really good spot in terms of nutrition. To help push that first meal back and suppress your appetite, I always try and drink 2 or 3 coffees, which is a natural appetite suppressant, which again is going to help you to feel less hungry, allowing you to push that first meal back. And my last tip for cravings is if you are craving a treat, you're really craving a treat and it's becoming a little bit of a struggle to actually be disciplined and to ignore the craving, drink a big glass of water, wait 15 minutes. If you still want the snack, have a little bit. But I can guarantee that little trick will stop you from consuming some bad food quite a lot of the time. Number 2, which is incredibly important, is protecting your training performance. So although you watching this video, your goal is to get lean and lose body fat, training is incredibly important. If you want to get lean and still have an impressive physique, so you're still carrying a decent bit of muscle, you need to ensure that during the whole process of your cut, you're still training hard to retain the tissue that you've already got. Place your carbohydrates around your training window. That should be your priority in terms of carbs. So you want some quick carbs pre-workout to help fuel your training. You also want some quick carbs post-workout to replenish lost glycogen stores that you've expended during your training session. Planning around life is incredibly important for you to get below 15%. So with the social occasions and the meals and the dates and whatnot, if you plan properly and you plan in advance, it's genuinely really hard for you to go off track. Even if you're flying abroad, you're going on a plane, you can take food with you on the plane. Prepare some protein oats, take some Greek yogurt with you. Those sorts of foods are absolutely fine to eat at room temperature and are going to allow you to stay on track with your food. So in terms of managing occasions, it all comes down to how badly you actually want to achieve the goal. And one thing that is really important to bear in mind is that the process to get below 15% body fat, it's not erratic. You're not going to extremes. It's calm, it's controlled, you're sleeping well, you're managing your stress. Everything is planned and prepared. You're never in a rush. Everything is always prepared in advance. It's a chilled, relaxed process if done properly. So if you're watching this video and you've been stuck at 15% body fat for years, it doesn't necessarily mean that you failed or you're failing. It just means that you need to switch up your approach. You need to be more accurate with your planning. You need to plan more. You need to prepare more. You need to be more organized. The level that you want to get to requires a different type of structure that's more deliberate, it's more organized, it's more effective. Hopefully you found this video helpful, people. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comment box. I'll be happy to answer them. Don't forget to drop me a like. Don't forget to drop me a sub. If you would like some help pushing past that 15% mark, DM me on Instagram at FitWithMackie and I will show you exactly how I can help you out. That's it, peeps. Catch you in the next one.